well, until you get to know me a little bit more and understand where I'm coming from, how I think, and how I present things. I'm not going to go there. I don't want to add any confusion to it, especially with us just starting off this channel. So I'm going to skip over this. The next one as well is a home situation. So I'm not going to go into that one as well because close quarters and confusion. This one you really don't need to see. It's kind of the same thing on this one. I think it's a combination of a pressure bite and I want to say it's a combination of a pressure bite and a black bite because it blocks it out, and I don't know if they're blocking it out because of where the dog bites the guy or because the guy's identity. But right there you can't really tell, but it looks like he's biting closer to the shoulder, especially at that angle. But it's weird though because he's fighting and he's fighting so good that he's pulling the guy around, so the guy really can't comply, which is kind of good. But the dog, see how the handler gets closer and the dog comes down. You kind of want that. The dog should automatically kind of release instead of having to fight. But as you've seen, it's kind of in that ball or the shoulder, which is a good place to be on the back like that. So that was a good thing. But what I want to point out is the bad. Watch right here what happens. See how he snaps at the handler? He shouldn't do that. And that goes back to where I was talking about the decoy not having any control of the leash. What happens with the choke off and stuff is the dog gets in the frame of fighting that he understands that anything naturally that touches it is a threat. So when you go to choke the dog off, it understands, hey, that pressure is pain. It's not, it's not helping me, it's hurting me type of thing. So when he's choking the dog like that, he's pulling up on the collar and everything to add pressure to get the dog to submit. He's telling the dog, and its natural instinct, and it's understanding that, hey, I'm hurting you, I'm a threat. So I will address that later on as we go on, but I don't believe in having to choke a dog off. You shouldn't have to touch the dog to get the dog off. Like I said before, my dogs come off as soon as they hear the handcuffs click on the subject. See, right there, the dog. And that's because of that pressure. That dog natural instinct is to understand that, hey, anything that touches me is a threat. And they don't train them like that, which is how the dog should be trained. It should understand that anything that touches it is a threat. I don't believe in touching the dog when the dog is engaged in any way, shape, or form. You touch the subject, and the way that you touch the subject, the dog calms down and gets ready for the release. And then as soon as the handcuffs click, that dog automatically release or is calm enough that if you do have to touch it, it's a controlling, loving type of touch. It's not aggressive like that. It doesn't have to have the pressure. It doesn't have to be like, hey, my mind is still, in the fight type of thing. And this video is kind of good, and it comes at a good time from the other video because you kind of see the difference of that type of release compared to this type of release. So kind of the same situation. The dog's independent head of the team and stuff like that. Takes the guy down. Granted, he takes the legs. He should have tucked in, the arm and stuff. But the officer was quick on the backup. So situation was there because it definitely looks like that guy would have fought the dog if given the chance. That's a beautiful Mal Shepherd mix. Very beautiful dog. But what I like here going into this is how he's fighting. He's not fighting too much that the officer has to go against the dog, but he's fighting enough that the subject's like, okay, I want to comply, see, like that. And now this is what I'm talking about with the click of the handcuffs. Notice right there, the dog let go. That's how a dog should be. The only reason that the dog, I think, in its mind is jumping towards it is because that subject is not fully controlled. He's still moving around. That could be playing a part into it. I'm not sure this dog's training background, so I can't really speak on it. But from what I see and seen of dogs that are trained for the automatic cuffing like that, if this dog is trained like that, it's because any kind of initial fighting afterwards, the dog knows that it has to re-engage. So if this dog has the training to go and release when the subject is cuffed, then it's because the subject fighting on that. But anyway, questions, comments, or concerns, get at us. Till next time, guys.